Andrew Mack here with MMA Island and Trial by Combat. Today I'm joined by Alex, the Alley Cat Morris. Alex, how you doing?
Doing good, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good. How was your July 4th?
It was good. Kind of just relaxed at home. Didn't really do too much of partying because of the weight cut. Just got into the gym in the morning and then kind of took the rest of the day to relax. So,
So does it frustrate you all like fighting so close to a holiday where you can't enjoy like these barbecue and feasts that people usually have?
um, it yeah, it was a little tough this one, I would say. But I mean it wasn't that bad. I kind of already had it in my mind that I wasn't going to be participating in that. So it was I kind of mentally prepared for it. But if I had actually went to a party and had people eating around me, I probably would have had a little bit harder of a time. But that's why I stayed home and just kept to myself. So
So let's talk about your background. How did you get into combat sports?
um, I started wrestling in high school. Didn't really have any combat sports or anything like that before high school. I only played baseball really. Um, and then I think actually seventh grade or eighth grade, I went to go see a combat zone fight and go see Calvin Cater fight, and pretty much instantly fell in love with the sport. Um, Pretty much asked my uncle what I should do to get into MMA, and he said number one thing to probably do is to get into a wrestling gym. I signed up for my high school wrestling program the next year. Um, Other than that, my dad was in the military, and he had bought a boxing bag for me when I was about probably like 11, 12 years old. So I've always had a boxing bag, but never really had any like formal training or anything like that.
So how old were you when you started formally training?
Um, as far as like wrestling, at least, it would be 15 when I was 15, 14 years old. Um, and then as for trying to pursue MMA, um, I was about 24, 23, 24. So it's been about 3 years.
So how'd you find your gym Nostos?
I was just kind of actually following them on social media. Um, to be completely honest, I was kind of looking at coming to Nostos back in 2019 or so, and I actually got right before I was going to go like sign up with Nostos. I got in a pretty serious car accident and rolled my truck. Fortunately, I survived it, but I suffered 8 fractured vertebrae throughout my back. So it was something to kind of set me back, but it was something to make me a little bit tougher mentally, at least, because now I don't think anything's going to hurt me compared to that, I fought back from that, so.
So how's the training like as Nostos? Is it like a very like regimented gym, or is it a little more like family gym, somewhere in the middle? How is it on that scale?
It's definitely very regimented. We have very strict classes, and especially for the fighters, we have a very set schedule and like amount of time that Devin wants us in the gym. It's around almost 20 hours a week, so it's pretty much like a part-time job if you want to fight. And you really should be training at like a part-time or a full-time job if you are trying to fight, or else you're gonna get hurt. So. Um, we have guys in here that are in here 6, 7 days a week, like Kyle Hill, and then guys in here that come in and do their own thing too. That kind of like come in after hours, get lifting in, hit the bag, stuff like that. So
So you're fighting at NEF 51 and are still a couple of your teammates.
we have, sorry, Nick Eldridge. He's making his MMA debut. Um, Matt Jenkins also making his MMA debut. Um, Kyle Hill making his pro debut, and Kyle Pufo both making their pro debut.
So don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure your gym's 9-4 this year so far. What have you guys been doing, not specifically, of course, to make this 14-4?
We've all been pushing ourselves very hard in the gym. We're holding each other accountable. Um, I know both the Kyles are looking like pros. They've been looking like pros for months, but I'm really excited to see them put on a show on Saturday. Um, and the us three amateurs, we're all hungry. I'm hungry to get my win back, um, and Matt's hungry to put it on Kasim to help me hopefully get a rematch with him. And Nick's a beast. Nick's an absolute beast at grappling, and he's ready to get in there. So we're all chomping at the bit.
So NEF 51, NEF 52. There's always been multiple people from Nosos fighting. Do you enjoy fighting like with the entire team? Your entire team shows up. You're all fighting and stuff.
Oh yeah. I haven't had the opportunity to fight on a card by myself or anything, but I definitely prefer to have at least another person on the card with me, and it hold me accountable, helps them hold themselves accountable. Um, and it kind of just makes it a little easier to go through that suck together. But it's also fun. It's not a complete suck. It's a joy to do this. So
So your opponent is Tim Murray. What do you know about Tim?
he's coming from Vision Quest Muay Thai, so I'm expecting him to be very, very good Muay Thai. Probably try to trot my legs pretty good. Um, he has a finish by leg kicks, so I'm expecting him to try to probably put me away with some leg kicks. But I've been preparing for that, so I feel ready.
So on tap, according to Tapology, which can be wrong sometimes, it says he's 38 and you're 27. Do you think that age might play a factor into this? Do you think he's gonna be a little bit slower?
Um, I do think I'll have a little bit of a speed advantage, and I'll have a little bit more pep in my step, but I'm not gonna. I've been with trained with the guys that are older, and they can put it on you. So I don't expect him to be slow just because he's old at all. I'm still expecting him to be trained to get in a fight with me, and I'm expecting him to bring it. So
So the venue, Merrill Auditorium. I personally haven't been there. Have you for any events?
I have not. I'm excited to go there. I've been to the Aura as a spectator and as a competitor now, um, and I can't say I'm a big fan of it after being a competitor at it. It's very, very small
Yeah.
space. I really liked it as a spectator. It was really cool venue to watch it at, but I did not appreciate the warm up. It was really tight in back and out back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm hoping that the Merrill Auditorium will at least a little more space to like warm up and stuff because it's an auditorium, obviously. So they should have like some staging back there and like big area for like all that stuff. So, but I have not. I only have watched the fight video of Tim. He was at the Mayor Auditorium, so that's the only real footage I have on that. You know.
So speaking about small spaces, the NEF cage is very small. I was talking to Artur Niv last time, and it was like it's 2 strikes and then you're immediately in clinching range. Do you think that
Yeah.
small cage helps your style at all?
Didn't help my style last fight, for sure. I definitely wanted to keep it long with Kasim, and I kind of just got into a dogfight with him and didn't play to our game plan as much as I had thought I would have. So this fight, I'm trying to stick to the game plan. I know the size of that cage now, and I've been in there and had to grapple for 3 rounds, so I know how that feels. So um, I'm ready to take it there if I need to.
Talking about your fight with Kasim, that seems like from where I was sitting, it was a little bit shady because you got a point taken away, even though he was grabbing the cage multiple times. I saw him hitting you the back of the head multiple times. He never got anything. Now that you've had a little time to reflect, what's your opinion on all that?
I don't want to like point any fingers or anything. I don't think the ref did a great job of halting the action. He didn't really give me a warning for anything, and then all of a sudden took away a point. I did get a punch to the back of the head, and he was just like, "Oh, just keep fighting," which I mean, I'm not trying to go and complain or anything like that, but I mean, I did take a punch to the back of the head. I felt it, like, um, so I don't know. I honestly, my only thing is I hope I don't have him as a ref again.
And going back another fight to your first fight with Quinn Poirier at NEF 48, the outdoor venue. How's it like fighting outside with like this? I heard people saying the sun was in their eye and stuff.
So I was the fight like right as the sun was hitting, and Ross Danner came up to me. He was like, "Hey, as soon as we get in there, make sure you try to get your back to the sun." Honestly, that all went right in one ear and out the other. As soon as I got on the cage, I was like, "I'm just gonna knock this kid out." That was honestly really fun. I hope we do another one outside. I hope these promotions around here kind of look at that and we'll do it more often. I was thinking Combat Zone was looking at doing something outside not too long ago, and I think it fell through. But I think they might have that in their plans for the next year. So that would be exciting to be able to fight outside again. But whoever wants to fight outside, I think that's a great experience. You definitely have to deal with like maybe the bugs or whatever. I didn't deal with it personally, so I don't know about other people, but it was super cool. It really was a super awesome experience, especially for my first fight. So,
Where were the locker rooms for that event, by the way? 'Cause I was looking around, I couldn't see anything.
they were literally out in the grass. They were awful. I could see Quentin warming up, which is kind of counterproductive. I think. I don't think you should be able to see your opponent warming up.
Yeah.
But
So going back to this event, NEF 53. What do you expect your mentality to be when you're walking out, and how's it going to be different from your first two fights?
So honestly, my mentality in my first fight was I was ready to go in there for a kill. That second fight, honestly, I was a lot more relaxed. I didn't really feel pumped up and ready to go until honestly we kind of were already going in that first round, and then the adrenaline hit me. And I was like, all right, I'm in a fight right now. But going into the cage, I felt super calm. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to like kind of have. I was just waiting for that adrenaline to hit me, and it never really did until I got in the cage. So I got to make sure that I'm in that state of mind before I step in the cage. But I already am. I can already feel it. Just like my first fight, I can feel it.
So talking about the walkout, everyone chooses their walkout song for a different reason. Some want to use it to pump it up, some use it to intimidate the opponent, some use it to rile up the crowd. Some people just pick a song they like. What goes through your mind when you're choosing your walkout song and as you're walking out with your music?
So honestly, for my first fight, I had something to pump me up, that I felt like would pump up the crowd and stuff like that. And then this last fight, Macklemore came out with Grime, and literally the first line is "I'm an alley cat." So Carolyn heard that and she shared it with the fight team. And I originally was like, I don't know if I want to walk out to this, but it kind of grew on me. So, and honestly, I'm like I was saying before, like I want to get in that state of mind of being pumped up before I even walk out. So, I don't think the walkout song should matter as much as long as everyone's enjoying it, So, and I think that's it. I think that's a cool song. It's got like jazz in it, like it's got a little different beat. So.
Speaking of Alley Cat, I forgot to ask you earlier, where did that nickname come from?
Devin actually gave it to me. He always just saying like, oh, this kid's always like fighting. He won't give up. Like, I really try to fight as hard as I can, not to tap to like blood chokes and stuff like that. So I really do fight pretty hard usually. Obviously with like arm bars and stuff like that, I'm not trying to get myself hurt. So, but Devin was just like, he's a gritty kid, and he was like, you have cat. I used to have like 5 cats. Me and my ex split up. She took all our cats. So I don't have any cats right now, but I used to have a bunch of cats. So they were like, you're a cat guy, right? So they called him, and like Alex, Alley Cat. I don't know. So, and then he came up with it. So I was like, all right, I kind of actually like that. I was kind of thinking of something else. Honestly, I was thinking of the Gladiator, but Andrew Valdina's already the Gladiator too. So, and he's actually Italian. I'm not even Italian. So,
So you're the first fight on this card, and you called that out on social media. Do you enjoy being the first fight, so we can just get the nerves out, get everything done?
Yeah, I honestly wanted to be the first fight. I didn't ask for it, but I actually had that in my mind that I was hoping to be the first fight, so I'm happy that that happened. So I'm excited. And yes, I'll be able to get the nerves out, be able to have a drink after, and enjoy watching the rest of my teammates put on a performance.
So what do you do outside of the cage? I know you have that like 360 camera thing, which is pretty cool.
Time to end this suffering. I need a minute to myself.
Yeah, so I actually unfortunately left working with that company. They're great company. I love them. Shout out to 360 DJs and photo booth. If you ever need a DJ or photo booth for a wedding, they're the guys to hit up. I personally couldn't do the traveling anymore. It was a lot of driving on my car. Um, and I was ready to put more time into the MMA, and I was kind of having to go to like these wedding stuff on Friday, Saturday, sometimes during the week at nights. So I was kind of over it, but I also do I'm a cook down at the Atlantic Grill in Rye, so do a little bit of that. And then I just took a part-time job with one of my sponsors. They're doing scooter rentals just up in Kennebunk, so just doing that on the side, just for some extra money besides your sponsorship money.
So how do you find balance in your life between martial arts, your job, and just like leisure time?
Um, I mean, honestly, it's kind of been a transition. I've I usually had my daughters a lot of the time, or at least like 2 or 3 days of the week. And they would come, at least my older daughter would come to jujitsu and stuff like that. And then I would train and then we'd go home after. She hasn't been coming recently. She wanted to take some time off, and it's summer too. So it's hot in the gym.
Yeah.
Um, so she's been taking some time off. So I haven't had as much time with her, unfortunately. Um, but it's kind of like you have to balance everything. But I find a way to, if I had to go to work, I go to the gym at night or earlier in the morning, and then stuff like that. So I always try to get in here at least 4 hours a day usually. So
Speaking of your kids, you let your kids watch your fights?
well, they're a little young yet. Um, my oldest daughter is only 5 years old. I mean, she does understand the concept of what I'm doing. She hasn't watched either of my fights though. Um, if I'm still fighting by the time she's old, like 8, 9, 10 years old, I'd definitely like her to come to a fight. But at the same time, I have seen people bring their kids to a fights and then they get knocked out or something, and I don't want that to happen. So
Yeah.
it's something that I'll cross the bridge when I get there, I guess. But I'll definitely show her replays of my wins.
All right, we're gonna just hit some of your favorites. If you want to just give the favorite, move on, we can do that. If you want to give a little
Yeah.
bit of a backstory, you can do that as well. Your favorite fight on this card besides your own?
Ooh, favorite fight on this card besides my own. Um, I am actually really excited for the main event, Ryan Sanders and Ali. Um, Ali's going up in a couple weight classes, but I haven't been able to see Ali fight in person, and I've heard about him for years. So that's honestly the fight I'm most excited for.
Your favorite big league fighter?
Favorite big league fighter? Biased, Calvin Gator.
Your favorite regional fighter besides yourself?
Favorite regional fighter? Oh, I want to fight him at some point, but Connor Hughes, I think he's really good. So
Your favorite submission?
favorite submission? Rear naked choke.
Your favorite fight to watch?
Favorite fight to watch? Brody McDougall versus Ozzy Martin, which is going to be coming up in 3 weeks.
Hell yeah. Your go-to meal after a weight cut.
Go-to meal after a weight cut.
Or after a fight, whichever one.
Steak. Steak and lobster. Steak and seafood.
All right, 2 more questions. So, win, lose, or draw, what do you want people to think of when they hear the name Alex Morris after this fight?
I want them to know that I'm going to bring it each time I come in the cage, and I'm going to be ready to go every time my name gets called and some opportunity arises. So I'm hungry to get that win back and hungry to set myself up for fights in the future of bigger names and bigger opportunities. So.
And if you could give yourself a message last July before you made your amateur debut, what would that advice be or message?
Don't forget why you wanted this.
Awesome. Any shout outs you want to give teammates, coaches, sponsors?
Shout out to, honestly, all my coaches. Coach Devin Powell, Carolyn, Nick Miles, Ross, David Burke, Brody, Kyle Hill, Kyle Poofall, all my training partners, Matt Jenkins, Nick Eldridge, everyone that supported me and believed in me throughout this entire process. I thank you. And thank you to Nong O for coming this training camp. That was really cool to be able to train with Nong O. And then also I was down in Miami for my buddy's bachelor trip, and I was able to train with KO Zone down in Miami. So shout out to them. They're really, really nice people. Really cool gym down there. So if you're ever down in Miami and need a spot to go, they're really good location. Yeah, pretty much it.
All right, awesome. Good luck on Saturday. Saturday.
Thank you, my man. Good to talk to you.